This video gives a brief overview of how to operate your Dimplex heat pump at its most efficient. The Dimplex user interface acts as your control center for running your heating. From here, you can control the temperature in different parts of your home along with the hot water. By pressing the main button, we can see 4 squares. In the top left, it shows us our hot water temperature. This is the current temperature and it allows us to adjust our hot water settings. In the top right hand corner is the box for heating. This is your time clock and it controls the temperature in the house and displays the indoor and outdoor temperatures. The next box in the bottom left hand corner is operation. This allows us to tell the heat pump if we've come home early, moving it to the next time schedule. The bottom right hand box is the information box. This lets you know the current operation status of the heat pump. Hot water. First, we're going to set up hot water. The hot water is stored in the black cylinder located in the house. The cylinder is very well insulated and only loses little or no heat. The hot water is constantly monitored, and if the temperature drops in the cylinder after a shower or a bath, the heat pump will immediately see this and top it up so you never run out of hot water. We do this by selecting the hot water on function. Going to the first tile, we click again and we see 2 boxes. We just want to make sure that the little clock symbol is on. This makes sure that you never run out of hot water. Once you have the on selected, press the escape button, and once again, this is all you need to do to set up your hot water. Next, we're going to set up heating. We have 2 options. The first is to use the heating controller as a time clock. The second is to run the heating system on and use temperature on the stats to set the heating. Heating with your time clock. By pressing the main button, we can highlight the house icon. Clicking on this allows us to set the times we want the heat pump to be on. We can get an overview by clicking on the timer and selecting one of the zones. Zone 1 is always downstairs and is generally the main living areas. Zone 2 is the bedrooms, and Zone 3 could be an attic room. Selecting Zone 1 for the main living areas, we ensure we have selected timer. Here we can see the day of the week, which we can change to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. We have a number of options in terms of the times. Here we can see by changing to option 2, option 3 and option 4, we have different time periods that we can select. These are pre-programmed in the settings. By moving to the setting button, we can select option 1. Here we see option 1 with 3 different periods. These are 3 different periods that we can turn the heat pump on and off. By selecting the relevant area, we can select the start time and the finish time. This example, the heat pump is on at 6:30 and off at 8:30, and the temperature to achieve is 21 degrees. By repeating this for different periods, we can easily set up 3 convenient time periods in this option. Moving down, press set, and that option has been set. Going back to the timer, we can now go into that zone and select for Sunday option 1, which we have just set up. That will pull in the 3 different time periods that we have set up in settings. Pressing escape brings us back out and we can repeat for zone 2, making sure that we're in timer, selecting the day of the week and selecting the option that we want in terms of the on and off periods, with up to 3 periods available. Repeating this for the different days of the week makes sure that your heat pump is on for those times. The temperature can also be set in this icon. By selecting the zone, we can change the temperature to the desired temperature we wish that zone to be at. Pressing again and OK, we've set the room temperature for the first zone. Moving to zone 2, we can again adjust the temperature for that zone. Pressing the button, pressing OK, and then escape. This is a brief overview of how to use the time clock on your Dimplex controller. Heating your home with stats. Alternatively, you can have your heat pump operate just looking at the temperature in your home. This means you can have a constant 21 degrees to deliver higher levels of comfort. To do this, you select the main button. Move to the house icon in the top right hand corner and select again. By clicking on the time clock area, you select the zone and you make sure that the heat pump has the on function selected. Pressing escape, moving to zone 2, again ensuring that on is selected, escape, and finally all other zones. This makes sure that the heat pump is looking at the temperature in the home, and as you are in the home, it will give you 21 degrees or the selected temperature. To select the temperature you desire, move the icon to temperature, and in each zone, select the desired temperature that you require. Clicking OK sets that room temperature for each of the zones. Zone 1 is downstairs living areas, Zone 2 are bedrooms, and Zone 3 could be an attic room. We can also adjust the temperature on the user interface. Turning the knob changes the temperature. Once we have the temperature we require, we press the button and it sets the temperature in that zone. This can be used on both heating with stats or by using with the time clock. By pressing the main button, we highlight the information tile in the bottom right hand corner. Selecting this highlights the main functions of the heat pump that are operational. An icon highlighted in green shows us that the heat pump is operational or the home is calling for hot water or for heating. In this particular example, the icon for the heat pump is highlighted in green. This shows us that the heat pump is working. While the house is also highlighted in green, it suggests that the house is calling for heat. If hot water was being called for, it would also highlight in green. We also show two immersions, one for space heating and one for hot water, and these are only called in for in extreme weather conditions. Pressing escape brings us back out to the main menu.